Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we're here to ask, is an 80 everything build actually good in NBA 2K22 next gen? So I hope y'all enjoy the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff, and like always, let's try to 1,000 likes. Now, as you can see, I don't have 80 on exactly everything. We're going to go ahead and talk to you guys about what I'm going to revise in terms of getting maybe key attributes like stamina and vertical to 80, and I would honestly recommend some of these go higher than just 80 overall, but we're going to talk about whether this is viable right here, 80 everything, and then the fact that also if you look at the badge count, it gets 25, 23, 24, 24. You go to the college, it gives you +1 in every category, then you hit level 39 as well, put it on the shooting badge. That means everything has 25 plus, some that have 26, and you'll have 100 badges plus on this build. So what makes this video even more intriguing is what 80 rating gives you in a lot of key attribute ratings. So for instance, driving layup, you get a lot of packages that are going to be really good for the spins, hops, euros, all types of stuff like that, even just layup packages in general. At 80 3-pointer and mid-range, you get Hall of Fame sniper as well, so that's worth noting on top of that, and it's a very good badge and that's just how it is. And then for 80 ball handle, we also unlock some pro dribble moves in terms of the really good moving behind the backs, a lot of good size up packages and stuff like that. If you're lined up at the point guard, you can get the quick and shifty dribble style as well at 6'7", so that's going to be fire for you as well. However, on the other hand, the title obviously asks, is 80 everything an actual good build in NBA 2K22 next gen? I think this looks kind of solid, but I will say there are a lot of things that you obviously should tweak if you're doing something like this. So for instance, having 81 block rating would give you gold intimidator. Having 81 rebound rating in either category, offensive or defense, would give you silver rebound chaser. There's a lot of things that you should tweak. So what I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to tweak all of these said things to give you the most balanced build possible while still keeping this core idea intact. And for instance, we'll just go ahead and even mention other things. So for instance, 85 pass accuracy give you gold bullet passer, which would be very big time for the passing of this build. And then 84 driving dunk gives you pro contact dunks, so that's something that's very necessary. I don't think you need post control on a build like this at 6'7". Same goes for close shot. I'm gonna make a couple tweaks personally, and we're gonna obviously put things like vertical and stamina on this build as well, so stay tuned for that. All right, so the first revision that I did is going to be still trying to keep intact the fact that we could have 25 on every badge category. So you can still go to the college, it gives +1 for everything. Then when you hit level 39 for the season reward, you can put that extra shooting badge on, and then boom, just like that, it's 25 everything on the dot. 100 total badges at 6'7" with a 7'3" wingspan, minimum weight, and then we do however make a couple revisions. So like I said, originally I just had 80 on speed and acceleration. I dropped the accel by 2, put the speed up by 2. It was a direct trade-off. Boom, I could just do it straight up like that, and it was pretty much a direct trade-off, like I said. 70 vertical, so that you can still get the pro contact dunk packages. I'm pretty sure it's only off 2 though. Off 1, I believe, is 75 vertical, so just keep that in mind. Again, this is just the first revision. I'm trying to keep intact as many 80 ratings as possible, and then keep intact to having 25 badge points in each category. So things like standing dunk, if I were to make this in a perfect build or a perfect way of making a super balanced build, I would probably take standing dunk off, or at least put it pretty low or reasonably low, just for the sake of balancing this build, because you really don't need standing dunk with a build like this at 6'7". I will say though, having 80s in a lot of categories does make you a very versatile player. You can really line up wherever you want with this. I mean, it's a decent rebounder, decent shot blocker, decent perimeter defender, decent ball handler, decent shooter, decent dunker. I mean, it's pretty good and average at like everything, and it's not bad at anything, to be completely honest, besides free throws with this category. So obviously when it comes to the badge points, the lower your physicals are, the easier it is to do, but obviously I want to still be able to capitalize on having as much speed as possible for this build. It really makes no sense to come out here with a build that would have, say, 75 speed and 75 acceleration with like 0 stamina or anything like that, just to sacrifice a couple ratings in terms of maybe I could put my driving dunk up a little bit more, or get a couple more things towards shooting badges since it's lacking at 23. My whole point with this is I wanted to make something that I could show you guys that would be a really usable build, yet still with a cool little concept right here, that we don't go too overboard on anything and we go super balanced all the way through. However, what I'm going to do with this part of the video real quick is revise completely into what I think would just be the best balanced build overall, taking the attribute ratings off that I think wouldn't be necessary and putting them into ones that I think are more necessary. So we're going to go ahead and do so real quick. Alright, so now with a little bit of revision, I have what I think is going to be a really good budget in terms of each category. So for instance, with 17 finishing badges, if you add it up, it gives you 6 and 6 for limitless takeoff and slithery finisher, which is going to be 12. And then you add 5 more, that's 17 for the posterizer on gold. Just like that, that's all your finishing badges right there. I believe that's all you really need, to be completely honest with you, especially if you have a capable build that still has 83 pointer and 22 shooting badges with Hall of Fame sniper, silver on hot zone hunter. However, I was only able to obviously get this to 80 for the 3-pointer, so I can't get gold hot zone hunter. It is a little bit unfortunate that I'm not hitting that super high mid-range rating that I could afford for this build right here, but unfortunately, I just feel like it's not worth the shooting badge points, and really it's already kind of easy to shoot in this game, to be completely honest. So I feel like even silver on things like hot zone hunter and blinders. I did still want to achieve that 85 pass accuracy for the gold bullet passer that you saw a couple seconds ago, but what you could do if you want is drop your pass accuracy to 70 for the silver bullet passer. I just up it to 72 for this extra playmaking badge right here, and then it upgrades a couple badges, break starter and special delivery. Not a big deal, but either way, gets you 83 mid-range, it gets your extra shooting badge right here, and unlocks the gold hot zone hunter. So it's definitely something worth thinking about right there in terms of if you were trying to make a build like this where it's super balanced and super even in terms of its spread. I mean, as you can see, the build with 18, 24, 22, and 23, that is crazy, man. That's actually really convenient. Upgrading my mid-range by default upgraded my close shot too, so as you can see, if I go to that 83 mid-range, boom, it's going to upgrade my close shot too. So then I figured I might as well just up it one more to the 54 and then boom, get the 18 for the finishing right there. So it makes sense to do that if you ask me, and then honestly, if you wanted to, you could even just add that extra rating to the mid-range for 84. However, I think if you were going to make this build, you could just invest it in the free throw and then boom, just like that. You have 18, 24, 22, 23. For the defense, we ended up going for the Hall of Fame clamps and menace. I don't think these badges are really that much of a necessity anymore, to be completely honest with you. With the way that the gameplay has just shifted and stuff like that, and I've kind of come to learn that clamps isn't such an essential badge as I thought it was. It's a little bit overrated anymore. However, perimeter defense rating is actually super important in terms of your lateral quickness and shot contesting, so it's just something that's worth having. And then on top of that too, we still have the block rating high enough for the intimidator on gold. We still have the rebound high enough for the silver rebound chaser. Again, have a high enough block rating for silver rim protector, gold chase down artist, all types of stuff like that. Meet a lot of caps that you would want. And then we still have good physicals too. So we got 80 vertical, and we also upped the driving dunk to 92, so you can get the elite contact dunk packages with these said things right here, and then still get all the pro contact dunks as well. We can't get the smalls, obviously I'm 6'7", so that's impossible. And I meet the 90 steal threshold of all those thresholds Mike Wang was talking about, where we have them at 80, 90, 99. So what we have is just a well-rounded build. You could play the point guard spot on 2v2, you could play the point guard spot on 3v3, you could play the lock spot on 3s, big man spot on 3s even at that. You could play multiple positions in Pro-Am and Rec. You could fit in with any type of team, whether it's an inside or an outside or anything like that. You got a point guard on the team or not. You could fit anywhere with this build. So it's definitely something worth thinking about. And I think this is low-key a sleeper build right here. It's not something that pops up the charts at anything, but if you have the stick to make up for it, again, if you can handle with 80 ball handle and you have pro dribble moves to do with this, and you also have 80 3-pointer to still be able to hit pretty consistently, you have 92 driving dunk to unlock the contact dunks, and you can actually still do this stuff with the dunk meter too, and you just have to actually be good at it enough to actually make this work. And what this build comes down to is I think this fits a lot of people as well, because it just has so much variety to it. But what it's gonna be really good for are the people out there that actually are really good at the game and wanted to go with something that's maybe a little bit more off the charts or off the grid, so to say, where, you know, obviously you can make a 5'9", 5'8", 5'7" build that's just gonna pop off the charts in very specific ratings. So for instance, 3-pointer, ball handle, speed with ball, pass accuracy, perimeter defense, steal, all types of stuff like that, speed, and then completely lack in a lot of other categories. For instance, rebounding, block, interior D, strength, driving dunk, all types of stuff like that. Obviously, that build is an extreme high and extreme low. This one right here has very little when it comes to extreme lows. And the only reason that I have O board so low is because I feel like with such good shooting on this build, or at least doable shooting, you probably won't need to be anywhere near the offensive rebounds too often. I just have it at the bare minimum that you can still get the D board to the level that I wanted it and still have the 23 defensive badges as well. But anyway, this build, like I said, could fit a lot of people. It'll fit a lot of mediocre people because you can fit in with a lot of other teammates and stuff like that. And for the sake of playing on 3v3 with randoms in that warehouse stuff, you could play and just fit in with whoever you get matched up with. And it's going to be pretty good for that as well. Whereas on top of that, if you're a really skilled player, you can make up for the lack of certain ratings. So for instance, you have the ability to dunk, you have the ability to shoot, you have pro dribble moves. You can still do this properly if you can unlock the ability within yourself. And then you still have the ability to play good defense. You still have 82 speed with decent vertical and good stamina. I mean, it really is a sleeper build if you ask me. So for the takeover options on this build specifically, we have slasher, shot creator, sharpshooter, and then lockdown. It has pretty good variety in that sense as well. But what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to go all the way back to square one and show you where we first started from with the all 80s build, and then talk about what that build can maybe bring to the table in terms of variety and just viability in terms of actually using it, and then maybe minor tweaks that you can make to it just to make it usable. Alright, so this right here is probably going to be the closest to hitting home on the all 80s ratings and stuff like that. So what you're going to see, I was debating between doing standing dunk or post control right here. I know it really makes a little bit of sense, like very minimal sense, to actually upgrade post control rather than the standing dunk, because with post control comes probably wanting to be in the interior a little bit more and actually standing dunk. However, you do still have close shot, you do still have mid range, so you don't necessarily need to standing dunk to utilize that ability. It's on some Kobe stuff, kind of, where you're just gonna back down people, go for the hooks or fades or anything like that, and just be more finesse rather than power when it comes to that. But anyway, the situation at hand, I could have done that. I could have upgraded driving dunk right here, which really only gives one more badge, and it only goes to 90 anyway. Does give you gold poster, however, but I still think at this level, 84 probably all that's worth doing. And as you can see, it does give 3 finishing badges right there, and unlocks a little bit of a category of your build that you might be able to untap a little bit in terms of just your user skill and learning how to use the build in a sense. But anyway, back to the whole topic of the driving layup, the ball handle, unlocks badges and animations and stuff like that. Obviously, we want the speed maxed out, we want the acceleration maxed out, we want the vertical at a decent amount right here. 80 is going to be perfectly fine for all the driving dunk packages and stuff like that, and just be good enough in terms of the rebounding help and the shot blocking help for the chase downs and stuff like that. 91 stamina, good enough. And again, I wanted to keep a lot of the key defensive badges. So for instance, again, if we go to 80 on the perimeter defense, we lose a lot of those good badges like clamps and menace. Obviously, we lose a couple defensive badge points too. I know one is going a little bit overboard. We have 26 instead of 25. It's going to kind of deteriorate a little bit from the whole idea of having 25 everything. But again, you could still go with the 1 badge per category for the college, and then go with the +1 for hitting level 39 on the finishing right here, and then boom, you'd have 25, 25, 25, and 27, just like that. Another thing to come back to is obviously the pass accuracy too. Needing 85 to get the gold bullet passer, it just makes sense. Obviously, you go with that little jump right there from 80 to 85. I think when it comes to pass accuracy, you always want to go with the threshold of either 70 to get the silver bullet passer, or you want to go 85 for the gold. I don't really think 80 makes sense. You do get a couple things unlocked at this, however. You get the silver dimer, you get the Hall of Fame break starter, you get gold special delivery. At least I think that's what that badge is. Post playmaker, actually. But anyway, I do think that 85 is much worth having. You can see right here we have 23, 24, 25, and 26, just like that. It even goes in order like that too, with a +1 from finishing to shooting to playmaking to defense, just like that. So that's an interesting concept as well. But anyway, for the takeover options on this, we're going to have shot creator, playmaker, lockdown, and glass cleaner. Very interesting. It actually gives a lot of variety in that regard, where you have 2 offensive ones, 1 defensive, and then with the glass cleaning going both ways, helping on offense and defense. Very interesting situation right there. And then we'll even show what the build title is for this one. So you're going to see we end the builder, and then just like that, we have the 2-way mid-range facilitator. So again, a very vague build title for our very vague build. So that's off video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, for drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all good stuff. Like I said in the intro, let's try to 1,000 likes. And let me know your feedback on this. Let me know what you think of these builds. Was the best one that I showed, or if you think any of these would actually have any viability in terms of 3v3 or 2v2, or just playing park in general, pro-am, stage, probably not stage, but let me know what you guys think, if it fits park or anything like that, or if you think this is a pretty cool build for yourself as well. Anyway, that's off vid. If you made it to the end, put balanced in the comments to show your support, man, all the way through. And on that, take it easy, man. Peace.